UFC star Khamzat Chimaev will take on legendary Stockton fighter Nathan Diaz at UFC 279 in September, and his coach believes this could be the start of a run which sees the Chechen-born brawler crowned a two-division world champion. However, before all that, he needs to get past Diaz first. Today, we are discussing Khamzat's coach's claims that in a perfect world, he bags 2 titles in back-to-back fights. Stay tuned. Let's get straight into it then. What has Chimaev's coach said? Well, there's no getting away from the fact that coach Andreas Michael from Allstar Training Center in Stockholm believes in his man. Like most others within the world of MMA, Michael sees the potential in the Russian-born Swede, as he believes he has what it takes to win not just one welterweight gold, but also to dethrone Israel Adesanya to claim the top middleweight prize too. Michael says that in a perfect world, Khamzat becomes only the UFC's 8th double champion, and just the 5th to hold 2 different belts simultaneously. But he has a long way to go to get to that point. We saw how difficult it was for middleweight champion Israel Adesanya to go up a division to challenge for a second belt, and in this day and age, with the game having moved on so much, it's not as easy as it sounds. Michael said, "I think that we would like to, me personally, I cannot talk about what Khamzat would like, but I would like Khamzat to fight the winner of Leon or Usman, which is probably the UFC's plan." He then explained that although it would be a tough fight, his student would then ideally move straight up to take on whoever the champ might be at that time at 185. Michael finished by saying, "I believe in a perfect world for us, that's how it would look." But you know, fighting is unpredictable. Do you think that Chimaev has what it takes to be a 2-division champ? Next up, Dana has responded to claims that Diaz is being served up to Chimaev. Stay tuned. Some fighters, past and present, have aired concerns about the fairness of the upcoming bout between Diaz and Chimaev, and have suggested Dana White should have given Diaz a fight befitting his legendary status for his final UFC bout. Instead, it has been said White is simply serving Nate up for a serious beating because of his demands to leave the company, something which Dana has claimed is nonsense. Speaking last week, White justified the perceived assassination attempt, according to Dan Hardy, by saying, "Well, the people that are saying that obviously didn't read when Nate said, 'I asked for this fight.' It's true." And he also asked for Francis Ngannou. So if I was putting him out to get slaughtered, Francis Ngannou would probably be the fight to give him. However, most simply claimed that he didn't give Nate the Ngannou fight because he simply wouldn't have been able to get away with it, as neither man could make the other's weight. UFC commentator and former 2-weight world champ DC, as well as the only man to knock out Diaz, Josh Thompson, have expressed concerns that both men are at different junctures in their careers, with Thompson suggesting the UFC know exactly what they're doing. Diaz is one of the most beloved fighters in the UFC and has been with the organization for 15 years, which in most people's eyes demands a bit more respect. What do you guys think about the issue? Khamzat has been speaking about sport and politics now. Stay tuned. As a Chechen who grew up with the scars of war all around him, you might think Khamzat Chimaev would have a slightly different opinion on the man who is now leading his republic. Alas, he doesn't. Described by some as the most dangerous man in MMA, Chimaev is a known supporter of Chechen leader Ramzan Kadyrov, but does not believe athletes should be held accountable for their political affiliations. And why would he, when he supports a man who has been quoted in the past as saying all homosexuals should be purged from his nation? Chimaev recently took to Instagram to voice his support for Chechnya, describing it as his motherland. Oh, and he also thinks Russian athletes shouldn't be banned in response to Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. He explained, "We are athletes. Each of us is a patriot of our motherland," before subjecting us to more of his beliefs by saying, "Lately, everyone has interfered with sports with politics. We stand for the country where we live. I am proud of my motherland, and I know that my motherland is proud of me and supports me. A place he is so proud of, he no longer lives in." Chimaev has deep ties with Chechen dictator Kadyrov, who has been accused of horrific things like torture, summary executions, and disappearing dissenters. Given his ties to a man like this, who also attended his wedding, it's no surprise he doesn't think athletes should be politicized. What do you guys think? Michael Chandler has given his view of the upcoming Chimaev versus Diaz fight. Stay with us. Chandler, who delivered a knockout for the ages last time time out with a vicious front kick KO of Tony Ferguson, has backed Nate Diaz to deliver a fun fight when he goes up against Khamzat next month. Concerned former fighters have suggested it will be anything but fun, but Chandler clearly believes Diaz has what it takes to go toe-to-toe with Chimaev. Citing his ability to turn it into a dogfight, Chandler branded Diaz a gangster in every sense of the word for taking the bout in what will probably be his last performance in the UFC. Chandler ultimately believes Khamzat will get the job done, but he also thinks it would be silly to count Diaz out completely, who holds 15 wins in the organization. The former Bellator champ went on to explain that of course it will be a tough fight for Diaz, before also saying he doesn't know if he will be able to match Gilbert Burns' output from his bout with Khamzat. Chandler then said, Khamzat is a big human being at the 170-185 division, so I think Diaz is going to be outmatched in pretty much every aspect of the game. But Nate Diaz is a gangster in every sense of the word, so it'll be fun. Whatever happens, this one will be watched by millions of fans around the world, and we just hope Diaz comes through it unscathed. Who do you have? Next up, Dana has been discussing the favorite for the fight. Of course, Khamzat, touted as a future UFC welterweight champion, goes into this one as an overwhelming favorite, with some suggesting that come fight night, it could be a record odds difference between two UFC fighters. But Nate Diaz isn't going to lie down and simply let Chimaev steamroll him. Dana has come in for criticism of late for booking the fight, but he doesn't see it how everyone else does, of course. Odds makers have Khamzat at a huge -1200 favorite, but White doesn't agree, saying recently that no one is ever that much of an underdog, referencing Amanda Nunes' defeat by Juliana Pena last year, as well as Ronda Rousey's head kick KO at the hands of Holly Holm. White went on to say, I can go on for days with this. This is a sport where nobody is that big of a favorite. Anybody can win at any given time. One thing that you saw in the Gilbert Burns fight, let's not forget this about Khamzat Chimaev, as badass as he is, as explosive, all the things that he's done, he doesn't have all the experience all of these other people have. And of course, he's right. Diaz possesses some excellent boxing skills, as well as world-class jiu-jitsu, so he definitely has the tools at his disposal. But Khamzat is on the way up, whereas Diaz has lost 3 out of the last 4. Who do you guys have? And finally, Henry Cejudo is backing Nate. Stay tuned. There have been recent murmurings from a select few people that come fight night, Diaz could shock a few people, and whilst we would love to see that happen, we can't really see it. Taking to Twitter recently, Cejudo believes Diaz could shock Chimaev and the entire world when the pair go to war next month, saying, even though Nate Diaz may be the underdog in this fight, don't count that dog out. Cejudo went on to explain his reasoning, saying, because experience is a big factor in this game, and in a 5-round fight, if he's able to scramble, if he's able to make Chimaev work in the 4th, 5th round, we've never seen Chimaev in the championship rounds. I think that could pay dividends. Of course, it's a big claim, one which many don't really see happening, but Cejudo, as a 2-weight world champion, is in a better position than most to judge the bout. Hopefully Nate can get it done. What do you think of Henry's words? As usual, thanks for dropping in today, and remember to swing by again next time when we will be discussing all sorts of other bits and pieces. And don't forget to like and share today's video whilst also subscribing to our channel. Bye guys!